Hey, what's up? I just wanted to tie in some ideas on this channel, and I just want to say for anyone out there, like a lot of people they do like different stuff, this and that, and you may or may not get traction and whatnot, but people really try to act like you ain't got nothing to say or you ain't nothing in this life, based on popularity. But really, the I said in other videos that the internet apparatus, to my understanding, was like handed down from like military apparatus, like during at least the time of the Vietnam War, that form of communication. So the internet apparatus, it's still basically weaponry because it's about organizing advantage along arbitrary lines of nepotism, favoritism, popularity, friendship, kinship, whatnot, but to really actually extract the resources of the earth and overlay private self-interest, whether that be group or individual, overlaid upon the earth, including other beings, which are all human beings, which are also the earth. So even I'm gonna make this video right now, and I just want to say, if I don't give a fuck. No, sorry, I'm actually sounding like I'm sounding a little bit like an emotional pushover like that. But I really actually with this one, I'm gonna offer this for truth, and I do not care if I'm actually talking to myself in the screen right now. And sometimes I think I actually sound more interesting than other people. And looking at myself in the screen right now, I may actually look more interesting than someone watching this to my taste. But I'm not saying I'm better or worse than anyone, but just that if you got something to say, you got something to say, and it's worth saying it if you can get it off and it's true. But I just like just a little bit of reference. So I was like getting on the. I've had like some things are an abusive dynamic, and that dynamic it'll if that dynamic is at play, it doesn't matter the time or place, it is likely to resurface. And if it's a real dynamic, it's soon. So like for me, I get into a lot of conflict and confrontation with my family members. Um, Interfering with my relationship with my mother, who's about the only person who's ever actually loved me, cared to love me or support me in life. And also I get into a lot of conflict on the public transportation system, that stemming from conflict at home and misdealings I've sustained based on the footing of leaving home in an untimely manner that reflects just what I've experienced in life. But all I meant to say is that I get a lot of like it's very easy like something heinous that happens on the news, heaven forbid. I don't intend that for myself or anyone, but I'm the type of person where I have experiences where that could very soon happen easily. Like especially what I get on the transit system in the region where I'm from. Even as I've been a former employee, it was a problem there when I was an employee. I actually didn't get on up and down the transit very much for many years prior to becoming an employee. But I just want to say, just as a reference, right? So I live in two adjoining cities, and I was getting on the transit. One of my first of maybe about four episodes of conflict that were demeaning and confrontational and disrespectful to a marginal person needing to use the buses for safety. Because I get a lot of I get some strong traction with like my appearance, but I also get some very negative traction. I've been trailed in vehicles, and I've actually been trailed in foot getting off of these goddamn buses very recently. I get trailed like that for no goddamn reason. So that's why I actually use the goddamn buses. But otherwise, walking is better and healthier. And I think that a lot of things that accommodate you exactly are a disservice. So cars are a disservice, and even buses are a disservice. And I thought that sometimes lifestyles that would entail public transportation, something about the dynamic of engaging public transportation, it can limit your self-concept such that you would think you need to or have to need to use them more often than you would actually need to. And some of that's actually the disrespect and contempt, just the dynamic. Like you wonder like, so why would you actually become a bus driver? You don't like people, you don't like marginal people, at least some. So you like some people and not others, but you still like people enough to be a bus driver. On a buses, they have like a lot of camera apparatus, so as a transit bus driver, you're not really getting much of any favors with any person you would meet on the bus, even though you like people, but you're not going to actually meet. Now actually I've met bus drivers off of the bus, like where I'm at right now, there's like a grass, I think you call it like a veranda, and there's a bus driver sitting over there taking a break, and I said hello to her, and I actually played some guitar for her the other day, and or maybe a couple weeks ago, and she enjoyed that experience. She was like, what are the odds of this experience right now? And then she liked my cologne because at the place where I'm at now, the mall, they have a rare, I'm an enthusiast for fragrances, but they have a rare store that has like ethnic fragrances at this mall. I'm referring to Rosedale Mall, Minnesota, and so I'll get oils instead of cologne, and the oils are more gentle and subtle. And a lot of times, like they'll attract. They say women have a stronger sense of smell, anywhere from 3 to 5 times, and it'll indirectly attract women and kind of linger a little bit, where it'll fly under the radar of men and ordinary people, but a woman will actually pick it up. But I just wanted, before they take off, I just wanted to show this bus over there. If you can see that. Now the standpoint the standpoint of this video is not to critique any person's choice, any person's prerogative or standpoint on family planning. That's not my prerogative. I'm not competent to speak in those terms, other than my own taste and propensities, which is nobody's goddamn business or interest. But I was getting up on a bus like a couple weeks ago, like maybe 3 weeks ago, and it's kind of funny. You got all these buses idling because I'm about to hop on one as I'm critiquing buses, but and if you're not open to critique and you call yourself a professional, you're fake. So I'm just critiquing things to not be so. But I'm not critiquing people that would need to ride the bus, but I'm saying that things should be open to common sense and reasoning. So I was getting on a bus a couple weeks ago. I had on like this smooth. It's like it's like a mesh, a fish mesh style shirt, but it's actually kind of savvy. It's like a player kind of shirt. It's got like it's a beige with like a little bit of green and yellow sprinkled in there, very subtle but kind of nice. And I had it more so open where it concealed my nipples, but it lets you see the cleavage of my chest and stomach a little bit, not to flaunt it, but just to be comfortable and open. And I also had my African unity, solidarity, Pan-African, and this is also not a political message, but I have my Pan-African emblem right there in the center of my chest, offset with the cleavage of my chest, but also concealing my nipples. And I'm about to hop on the bus, and this guy's like, he wouldn't open the door for me. He kept the door closed like that. He's like, and I didn't understand. And then he was giving me some kind of mocking, rude gesture. Then he opened the door. He's like, hey man, don't get on like that, man. You can't get on like that, man. And I was like, man, you're about to take off. Let me hop on. I'll button it up. It's not that difficult to button it up. I don't have a problem with that. He's like, yeah, you're right. It's not that difficult. So button it up. But I'm just saying, how is it that it's egregious for me, whether you want to speak in terms of etiquette or like political whatnot? Why is it egregious for me to get on a bus with a shirt on, with my nipples concealed, but exposing some of my chest and my upper stomach with the necklace? Why is that egregious? But it's not egregious to drive down the street with a condom on the bus. If you didn't notice, that bus got a big old condom right there. It's a pink bus with a condom. You got children getting on that bus. You got children, civilians, young people, teenagers. Why do they need to look at, mommy, what's that? Mommy, what's that thing? What's that yellow thing, mommy? That could be a conversation. Is that conversation appropriate? Is it appropriate to broach that conversation? Is it appropriate for a goddamn bus to tell people what to do with their families, family planning? I'm not saying that there's anything right or wrong with family planning. That's not this position. But what the hell does a bus got to say about influencing another person what to do with their body and their family and their future upon the earth? Because your family is your future upon the earth. What the hell does a goddamn bus with all these goddamn rude ass drivers got to say a goddamn thing about that? Really? But I'm just saying, I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy is that you may not get on a bus with yourself either. So you could say it's either vulgar to get on to get on a bus with your chest exposed as a man, but not nipples, just your chest, with a necklace that actually it's actually it matches the aesthetic of the shirt and the symbol and the body, the human body, which is natural. Why is it either vulgar or tasteless to get on the bus with or not appropriate? Why is it vulgar and or inappropriate to get on a bus with your chest exposed, but it's not vulgar or inappropriate to get on to have an actual condom driving down the road and a bus where people got to get to work, in school, in the hospitals and stuff like that? You got a condom right there. So it could either be vulgar, as in you're showing something from the bedroom, sexual. A condom is very sexual. That's a condom is reminiscent of deep intimacy, near about the deepest intimacy possible for a human being. That's what a condom is reminiscent of, symbolic of, and actually a reference, a property of. You got it right there. So that could be vulgar because that's outside of the bedroom on the goddamn street in regular daytime hours. You got a condom like that. Or you could say it's inappropriate because it could be you could have young people look at that, or people that don't want to be engaged like that while they're having a normal day like that. Or then also you're also broaching a huge major hot button topic like that right there in plain sight. So when I would drive those buses, I was being trained at a base that had those pink buses like that, and I was never wanting to. That's actually one of the if anyone would be interested, that's one of the reasons that I left that profession, because I really didn't want to advertise that type of thing like that. With the history of that, the socioeconomic demographics of that targeting thing like that. Because on the bus you have more so marginal people, the exact people that are encouraged not to have to make families. People say like, "Oh man, you can't afford a family, you're bogus." No, man, the motherfucking society is bogus in the first place, man. Human beings are not bogus. If you can get that off, if you can have a family, get that shit off, and fuck what someone got to say about it, or what you can or can't afford with some fake ass fiat currency. That's my standpoint. But I just want to simply show the hypocrisy in a lot of things. Is that a lot of things are actually just bullshit if you just do a little bit of reasoning. But what's not bullshit is cash money. So man, that shit they pay some money for that shit to be on that bus. People are making money by getting off on that bus. Some people are getting disrespected and mocked on these buses, and also slain on the society, on the sidewalks, walking, because some of the marginalization that occurs on and off the buses in and out of workspaces, to make someone vulnerable enough to have to walk, but also make it cool to kill motherfuckers walking down the street. And then, but all that shit doesn't matter as long as we're making money. So you can put wherever the fuck you want on a bus, even a condom like that, and we're making money, so that shit don't matter. But you, with your shirt exposed, doesn't necessarily make you or anyone money, so it ain't good to go, man. That's the baseball with that. But I had a couple more topics. I'm gonna reconvene this one later tonight because I got more to say.